What's up everybody, Henry Eisenstein here, and in this video I'm talking about how to buy commercial real estate with zero money out of pocket. So the first thing I want to talk about before we dive into the actual process of going out and getting the deal and buying it with no money out of pocket, what I want to talk about is the actual concept of buying properties with zero money down. The whole premise, the whole mentality of this concept comes from the fact of a person, maybe you, it was me a little while ago, did not have the money and wanted to buy real estate. What I want you to truly understand is that there's going to be a give and take. You don't just get handed money and you're just able to go buy real estate aimlessly and where you own 100% of the deal and you keep 100% of the upside. That's just not reality. So buying something, anything, any type of business, any type of investment with other people's money means that you're going to give up something. You're either going to give up equity or you're going to give up upside. It most likely will be a combination. So the whole point of what I'm trying to explain in this video is that I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, but I want you to understand that you're going to give up something in order to gain the opportunity to go buy the piece of real estate or whatever you're looking to buy. You're going to gain that opportunity to go do so with somebody else's money when you find the right opportunity by giving up something. Point number 2 is finding off-market deals, because when you can find off-market deals, money will flow to you. People with money will want to invest with you if you can find off-market deals. If you can get good at finding great off-market opportunities, there's a plethora of simple ways to do this. This is and again, if we're just talking about really surface level stuff, this is what a wholesaler is built to do in the residential world, which sometimes does in the commercial world, but they're going out through marketing avenues, cold calling, Facebook ads, this ad, whatever they're running, any type of source that they have, and they're going to go out and find deals or leads. They're going to cultivate those leads, and then they're going to find the most motivated sellers. They're going to negotiate with those sellers, and they're going to then find the ones that are willing to sell at the lowest prices possible so that they can upsell it a smidge to the investor and they make a little bit of a spread. So that's what a wholesaler does. The next level is a syndicator, somebody who syndicates money, which I'll explain in a second because that's going to pull into point number 2. But that person still has to go find a property. They are typically direct to seller. Sometimes they're going through a broker, which again is okay, guys. By the way, if you need to find off-market deals, it doesn't mean you have to do it 100% on your own. I have lots of relationships. Some of them with realtors, some of them with wholesalers, some of them with salespeople that I have that work with me, and plenty of others that are all around the country and people who know me as the investor to go to who want to buy deals. The point in this surface level conversation for a quick second for point number 2 is just sourcing, the sourcing of off-market opportunities. If you can't find better deals than what is on the market, it is going to be very difficult for you to be the person that people want to invest in, because they're like, what real value are you bringing other than just seeing what's already on the MLS? If they have money, we'll see everything on the multiple listing service or on CoStar, that anything that's active listed on the market with a broker, they have access to that and they're going to be sent that more, faster than you can even blink your eye. You know how many times that I've sent properties to investors that were on the market? I'm like, hey, this actually isn't a bad deal. They're like, oh yeah, I already got it. Right? This happens all the time. That's why I only stick to stuff that is off the market, because guess what? They'll never see that stuff. And I love when they're always like, oh, no, actually, it's interesting. I think I saw that already. I'm like, no, you didn't, because I promise you didn't, because I'm the only one who's direct to seller. So it's and I'm in contract. So if you saw it already, you definitely don't have it at my price. The point I'm trying to make is that when you have the value, which is again point number 2 here, which is sourcing the off-market deals, money will flow seamlessly without question. And by the way, if you're the kind of person who you feel like Henry, I'm super interested, I want to go out, learn and do this myself, this is stuff that we talk about all the time in one of my coaching programs. And if you would like to schedule a call, there's a link in the description down below. Love for you to join. So let's dive into point number 3. Point number 3 is also one of the most valuable skill sets in the entire world. And if honestly, this is probably the most valuable skill set I could probably ever imagine: being good at sourcing money. If you can be the person who has the connections to all of the money around a big circle of people, you're like the pinpoint person who sources the money for other deals, you will have a very, very high income, I promise you. Because if you have the connections to people who have a lot of money and you're helping them find great opportunities, there's gonna be a lot of opportunities that come your way. I guarantee it. So, because there's really 2 points to this. Not only do you have to find the deal, which I'm telling you that if just to start out, find the deal, and then guess what, the money will come. And as you start to, let's say you're already finding deals and you're already successful at finding deals, then guess what? You should start trying to edge up the ladder, which is then sourcing money. Being able to be the person who's the connection between deals and money. Because if you can be that money source, not the deal source, and eventually both, that's my goal, is being the source of both. More so on the money side, because there is so much opportunity when you're the one who can source money. And again, the beautiful thing is that, listen, It's very similar to doing regular deals. And you'll get a percentage, and you're going to be able to be a partner in deals, but you'll be a silent partner. You're actually going to have a higher part of the upside when you can source the money. And what's powerful, here's the craziest part. When you're buying deals without any money, that means most likely you're going to be the one to do all the work. Because you're not going to do nothing. You're not going to just buy the deal and they're going to do all the work and you're going to make a percentage. It's just not how it works. Because again, like I said, you're going to find a deal, right? Call it a house. In this case, we're talking commercial property, so we could just talk about, take a multifamily property. Call it a 2-unit building. I know it's residential, but I want something super small so you can tangibly think about it in your head. Let's say that you find a 2-family property for $100,000, but it's really going to be worth $200,000 and it only needs $20,000 worth of work. It doesn't exist. I'm just giving you an example. The point I'm trying to make here is that you're going to then source money because you found this great opportunity at 50 cents on the dollar, off-market opportunity, which is fantastic. What happens is that you bring that to a couple of investors and say, hey, I have a property at 123 Main Street. It's a 2-family. I can get it right now for $100,000. But what I like to do is that we'd like to invest with you together, right? You're going to bring this deal to somebody who has money and say, hey, let's do this deal together. I will do all the work. I'll manage the contractor, or maybe you are a contractor. And what's going to happen is that you're going to manage all the work. They're not going to have to manage anything. They're just going to give you the money. And then what happens is that typically there's a 70-30 split. That's a typical syndication split, where 70% goes to the person with the money, and then 30% goes to the person without the money. Which, by the way, guess what? Have I done deals where the spreads are both entirely different from those numbers on either direction? Yes, of course I have. I've done deals where I've gotten 5%, and I've done deals where I've gotten 90%, and it just depends on the deal, okay? And I'll explain how you do the 90% one. It's definitely a little bit different of a philosophy in a second. Typically, the person with the money keeps a majority, because the deal wouldn't have been done without the person with the money. And the person who's going to do all the work and sources the deal will take 30%. That is a very typical, straightforward deal. And again, typically what will happen is that if you're going to then flip that property, not sell it, but if you're going to keep it and rent it, what's going to happen is that then you're going to retain 30, he retains 70, whoever that is, for the rest of the time of holding that property. And that person who owns 70 is also going to get a preferred return, which means is that if that property brings in, let's call it a 10% return on investment, okay, after all expenses are paid. The first 6%, this is a very typical thing, 6 or 7%. That first 6 or 7% in return will go to the investor, and then the following 3 or 4%, whatever's left over, 70% will go to the investor, and 30% will go to you. So that means, again, you just bought a property. Yeah, you have ownership in a property. I know it's only 30%, but again, guess what? You still have ownership in a property that you put zero out of pocket for. And this is how it starts. And then guess what? If you sold that property, let's say that you bought it for 100, let's say that you put 20 into it. Let's say you sell it for 200, and then you make 80 grand minus cost. Let's say it's even a $60,000 profit. The investor keeps 70%, and you would take 30%. I think it's 18 grand for 30, and then the rest, 42,000, for the investor. So you just made $18,000, and maybe you can even be the agent and get a part of the commission too, because I mean, I've done that too. So now you got your 18 grand and plus or minus your commission if you took it or not. So the point is that you just made $18,000 on a property that you bought with somebody else's money. You got $0 in your bank account, and you made $18,000. Point number 4, relationships are key. Because if you want to get into this business and you want to make a lot of money, more important than the deals, and because this will help you with the sourcing of the deals, this will help you with the sourcing of the money, this will help you with everything along the lines of every piece of this business, relationships are key. So you're going to need to have great relationships with title companies, attorneys, mortgage people, contractors, property management people, every person, people who can source deals, from wholesalers to people who are, locally, who are driving all the time. Do you ever understand how many times I've been in an Uber? This is the funniest thing in the world, but it works. Every time I've ever been in an Uber, I will tell the person the Uber driver, and we'll build a relationship. Every time I try to do this, I'll build a relationship with the Uber driver and say, hey, if you happen to find properties locally, here's my number, call me and I'll pay you a percentage of the deal. How many times I rarely get a call from an Uber driver? It's actually kind of funny, but I'm telling you, this is how I act in front of everybody. Everybody knows if you find a discounted piece of property, a piece of crap property that someone is looking to sell, I want it. That's how people know me. So relationships are key. Everyone around me, everyone in my ecosystem knows me as the real estate investor that they know, and or can source the money for the deals, and or can source any aspect of the deal that they need. That's what I'm here for. So everyone in my ecosystem knows that. Relationships are going to drive money into your pocket through one avenue or another, right? Because you're going to need the relationships in order for the wholesalers, the brokers, everyone around you in order to help source the deals. And then on top of that relationships, you're going to need the relationships of the investors who have the money. The people who are going to give you the check to give you for the down payment. The people who are going to partner with you on any of these types of deals. You're going to have to build a lot of relationships and a lot of clout and experience so they can prove yourself why they're going to give you money over the next person who is asking them for money. Because if they have money, they're probably being asked by other people for their money. You're either the one asking for the money or the one being asked for your money. That's how it works. Okay, especially when it comes to the investment world. Relationships are key, and the way you're going to want to do it is by really being super experienced. And if you don't have any experience, say that out loud. Hey, my vision is to do blank. How can I bring you value and do business with you? This is how I started. I started as a very, very small percentage owner in deals because I would find the deals and I was the agent and I would roll my commission into it. Okay, I started as a very small percentage owner. But guess what? I started learning and learning and learning and learning and learning, and then all of a sudden the valuation of my interest, my equity in the deal went from a few percent to 10 to 15 to 25 to 50, to now where 50 plus is pretty common. Now I get 50+% in the deals because relationships are so freaking important, and now these people trust me so much where literally it's so hands off for them. They don't have to do anything and their money's just compounding with me. That's the value of relationships. Point number 5 is partnerships, because the partnerships, I want you to understand, is slightly different than relationships. Because this is now like you've had a relationship and now you're going to actually go into a partnership with somebody. Partnerships are very, very, very tricky. Because what you understand is that you need to, especially when it comes to investing, you need to have very, very opposing sides of skill sets. Like I'm in a partnership right now with one of my mortgage guys. Because the reason why I'm in a relationship with one of my mortgage guys is because guess what? He has a skill set that I can't replicate. Yes, I can replicate it in the sense of like, yes, I can go get a freaking hard money loan or a commercial loan or any of that kind of stuff. But it's very valuable to me to have somebody like him in my pocket, my back pocket, because if I need to source something or get the best rates, the best things, and close in 2 seconds, like I'm able to do that in 2 seconds. I wanted to do that, and I've had this relationship for quite some time, and we flipped a lot of deals together. So he's on the flipping side with me. We've done very, very well together, and we've done very, very well for actually buying the deals, because he actually not only handles the mortgage part, but the more valuable piece that he brings is that he also sources money. So he was always my initial connection to money. And if I wanted to then buy deals, I had to go to him anyways. And I said, hey, instead of me having to be such a tiny percentage owner in the deal, why don't we just split everything 50-50 going forward, so we both got more value out of the deals. Worked out pretty damn well, right? So that explains a partnership. However, there are also other partnerships where, like, listen, if you want to go partner with your contractor and your contractor says like, hey, I'll do the deals for less like cost on the sourcing of goods and the renovations of the property, that's great too. But also just know that what's going to happen is if you partner with somebody 50-50, say, oh yeah, you and I are going to go into business together and then I'm going to source the deals and you're going to source the money and whatever, okay? What I am here to tell you is that if you're going to get and retain 30% of a deal and they're going to get, 15%, and now you're going to split, because you're splitting that 30%. They're getting 15 and now you're getting 15. You just split your portion in half. So you have to be really cautious of who you're getting into business with. Because if they're not bringing an extreme amount of value, it might not be worth it. And there's partnerships that I've done that where it just didn't work out because one person or another just felt like it just wasn't valuable for the other person. And guess what? That's okay. It is what it is. But this is something that you will learn through experience. Because again, when you're sourcing deals and you're only going to retain 30% of the deal, yeah, it can feel like you're not getting paid a lot of money for the value you're truly bringing, right? Or the value that you're thinking that you're bringing. So just be really conscious of the fact that if you're going to do a partnership deal, you have to realize like what side of the coin is. And listen, if you're going to get a lot of value out of this content, which I know you are, I would definitely schedule a one-on-one conversation with someone on my team. This way we can see if you're a possible good fit for the coaching company. Because what we are talking about all the time in the coaching business is about how to take your business from where it is right now to not only making way more money, becoming a 7-figure earner, but now being a 7-figure investor where you can have a multi-million-dollar net worth. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time. And I even do deep dives with my clients all the time. I spend all the time about how we analyze deals so that you can make sure you never lose money. So you think if you're one of those types of people who thinks you want to take your life and business to the next level, make sure you schedule a call. Last point I'm going to be giving you is kind of like a bonus tip. What I would recommend for a majority of you who are listening, if you really want to go out there and buy a ton of deals with zero money out of pocket, this is exactly what I would recommend. Go out and become the best source of deals that you can possibly be. Go find amazing off-market opportunities because this will drive your value through the freaking roof. Don't start off by sourcing money unless you have incredible connections already. But typically if you're just starting out and want to be able to buy deals with no money out of pocket, you need to be the one who sources the deals. Whoever controls the deal, I promise we'll have the most control of the future of that deal, okay? If you're out and you have this skill set to go find great off-market opportunities, you are going to make the most money from that opportunity possible because you have the control over it. If I want to buy that deal as an investor and I have all the money in the world and I want to buy that deal, I have to go through you. So even if I have all the money in the world, it does not matter because I have to go through you. So you basically have secured your income. You have secured the opportunity to make money on the deal. And don't get me wrong, okay? This is listen, real quick side note, you might not partner with the right investors at the very beginning that allow you to also buy the deal. They might just pay you to get out of the way, which is okay, which is basically essentially wholesaling and or brokering, and they'll pay you just like a consultant fee. Here's 2 or 3% of the purchase price to get the heck out of my way so I can go buy the deal because I don't need you involved in the deal because you have no experience. Which, hey, I'm just going to be honest, isn't that freaking bad? because you can start there, make a couple bucks, put it in your pocket, save a bunch of money so that you can start building up your experience base to then go buy the next deal. I'm just letting you know that might happen on your first couple transactions. And then you get a little smarter, and you get a little smarter, and then maybe you buy your own first deal, and then people are going to want to start partnering with you because they start to know who you are, and that they know that you can source great deals. And then on the one where you're like, hey, like the third deal, you can be like, hey, just letting you know, this is a great opportunity. We both know that. And I'm not going to just wholesale this property. What I want is, I want to syndicate the property. I want to do the deal with you. At what terms, this is a great opportunity to ask this question, at what terms would you consider partnering with me on this property for? And then whatever they suggest, guess what? You can then take that and you can use that with another investor. Say, hey, I was going to let you know, are you willing, are you open to possibly beating these terms? Because this is the terms that I have, and I would love to do the deal with you as well. Let me know what you think you can do. And I'm not saying you're going to make people compete, but yeah, you want to see if you can get people who maybe will do better terms than the other person. Because just because you got an offer for something doesn't mean someone else won't beat it. And it also doesn't mean that someone else isn't a possible better partner. So if you got a lot of value out of this video, I need you to do me a huge favor. You need to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, number one. And when you're commenting, make sure you put in the description down below, give away your biggest takeaways. What are you going to do next? Because listen, if you're not going to take full advantage of all the information that's here on YouTube, I'm telling you, nothing's going to change in your life. And if you love this video, absolutely, make sure you click the link in the description down below and join us in the coaching program, because this is all we talk about, is how to go out there and build a 7-figure income and a 7-figure net worth. I love you guys so very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.